Beautiful. Hello, everyone. So happy to be here with you. I'm Kirsten. I think most of us met last week, but if this is, we had a few extra people that were like begging to like, let me come in. I want to come. I'm like, okay, you can come in. So you'll be starting on our week 2, and today is all about foundational nutrition. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. I've prepared a little thing for you here. Let's see, go back up here. And all right, so this is week 2. Like I said, we are the Living Wellness Coaches, and over the last 10 years, we've educated a lot of people in a lot of countries on how to use essential oils and take control of their health. And each of us bring our unique experiences as mothers, women, doctors, and health coaches. So this is all of us here, and most of us have been working together for years. Some of us a little bit newer than others, but all very passionate about teaching others about how to live more empowered and natural, healthy lives. So as a reminder, our Living Wellness is an 8-week exclusive essential oil education course. We started last week with our I have oils, now what? And today is our nutrition and supplements. So you can kind of see as a reminder the schedule here. A couple of reminder housekeeping items of, the Zoom link and what do you get for free and how do you get reimbursed, things like that. I think most of you have turned in your order to Julianne at eoeassistant@gmail.com. If you haven't and you want to get reimbursed, I have not sent out any of those reimbursements. I would prefer to do it at one time. So I'm kind of waiting, giving everybody a few more days to just get in those receipts and those reimbursements so I can make sure to get you paid back. And yeah, that's just a few little housekeeping items. Excited to jump right into nutrition and supplements. I'm going to time myself. I've learned this trick as a presenter, because otherwise I might take too much of your time, and I want to make sure I get to the point and stay on topic and answer any of your questions. So let's jump right in. So, first of all, if you have your PDF, the printout that we emailed you for the class, that is helpful to use and to write notes on. I want you to, be able to remember the important points of what I taught you today. And if you don't have that PDF, then you can just write it down in a notebook if you'd like. But what I'd like to start with, is really this important question. And I think this question is very pertinent to a lot of people in what we're experiencing right now in the current situation that we are in our country and all over the world, right? With sickness, with healthcare, people talking about it, people taking responsibility for it, some people not taking responsibility for their healthcare. But the real question is, why are people around us so very sick? And I got to tell you guys, in my research for this presentation, I found some pretty alarming statistics, and one that I wanted to share with you. Here in the US, we actually have food products here that 30 other countries will not even allow in their country. Okay, the US, among all of the developed countries in the world, we actually have the most money that we spend on our healthcare system, right? We have the much, government assistance and the people and the insurance and all that. We spend the most money on it, but we rank at the bottom for health. It's like we spend the most money on it, but like our people need it the most also. And it's kind of an interesting concept to really think about, why are people around us so sick? And the first place that we have to look is what we are feeding our bodies. And really everything that we put in or around our bodies, that our cells absorb, it's either feeding disease or dis-ease, or it's fighting disease. Let food be thy medicine, right? And our food and our medicines are either feeding inflammation in our body, meaning like our cells are inflamed and there's like, it's sluggish and it's not able to overcome things quickly, or it's fighting inflammation. What we are feeding our bodies is fighting inflammation and is promoting healthy cells and healthy digestion and healthy circulation, right? And I think kind of interesting to think about. You know, I mean, I'm not perfect by any means. Like I grew up, I love chocolate chip cookies. Like you put a chocolate chip cookie in front of me, like it's on, you know, I love it. I love yummy breads and cakes and all kinds of things. You know, Kirsten, she makes an amazing pie, right? And I, you know, if Kirsten makes me a pie, I'm going to eat the pie. Like, I'm not trying to say like I'm perfect, but I like to use what I call the 80-20 rule. You know, 80% of the time I am making a decision that is going to feed my body, that's going to fuel my body, that's going to fight inflammation in my body as much as possible, right? And then there's that 20% of the time that I'm like, hey, I'm going to eat whatever I want, and I know that I have a healthy body that can handle that. So think about your body. You know, my husband and I have had this discussion a lot. I'll be honest with you. He doesn't know I'm going to tell you this, but he eats like an unhealthy child. And it's a source of contention for us, actually. Like I tell him, like, Kyle, if you don't take care of your body and you get a disease when you're older, I'm not going to take care of you. I'm going to be mad at you because I'm going to say, I told you so. I told you, I freaking told you so. Like, eat your vegetables, you child, you know. It's honestly, we don't argue about very many things, but that is something that I get a little fired up about because I value him. I value his body for, you know, I mean, I hope that makes sense. Like, I value his health and I want him to remain vital and energetic and healthy. So it's interesting how sometimes we don't value our own body the same as we might even value others, like our children or, you know, a loved one that we're caring for. Maybe we even value the plants in our home or the animals in our home more than we value our own body. Maybe you have a dog or a cat or, you know, a goat or whatever, and you feed that animal certain things. And like, they're not allowed to eat crap because you wouldn't let them do that. So why would you allow yourself to do that? Kind of an interesting concept. Maybe you even treat your car better than you treat your own body. You maybe put good gasoline in it and you get the oil changed regularly, right? And you wash your car. I know you probably wash your body, but think about your body like a beautiful car, like a Rolls Royce. How would you treat the Rolls Royce of cars? You know, you would put premium gasoline in it. You would get the oil changed, the filters changed, and, you know, you would treat it nicely. And our bodies are such a gift for us. And having that value of our body is really one of the first steps to maybe making some different lifestyle changes. And it's an interesting thing to consider, right? How you value the gift that your body is for you. So our bodies are designed to heal themselves. Actually, that's the thing that's so amazing. You know, we shouldn't have to use, you know, supplements. We should be able to just, and I've heard this a lot, well, I don't use supplements because I just eat really healthy. And I'm so glad that so many of us know about eating healthy. I included this picture of these two tomatoes because I thought it was kind of interesting. You know, an apple a day is not just an apple a day anymore, is it? Our apples have changed. Our tomatoes have changed. There's a lot of genetically modified foods that we consume. Some of us are aware of these things and we make better decisions for non-GMOs and organic as much as possible, but there are still nutrients that are lost. Living here in Hawaii, I thought that coming and moving here, I would just eat the freshest food every day. It would just be so amazing. And there are farmers markets around here where I can buy locally grown fruits and vegetables and things, which I do. But there's certain things, you know, I'll go to Costco and I'll buy apples and I'll buy strawberries and things like that. And I can tell, you know, that my apple a day has not been ripened on a tree. It's actually been shipped across the country on a boat. And I can feel and taste the difference. And so that's why I talk about supplements as a way to feed our bodies what they need. And if there is something lacking in our fruits and vegetables that we're getting on a daily basis, the minerals and the omegas and things like that our bodies need, we can get those things from our supplements. So that's kind of a solid case for why supplements are important and why nutrition is important. Okay. So nutrition, as I mentioned, is foundational. It's not the only thing that we teach, but it's the first thing that we teach. When we have a good nutrition, we have increased energy, we have increased mental clarity, and good nutrition supports our cardiovascular health. and like I mentioned before, proper inflammatory responses. When we have good cardiovascular health, that means our engine is running optimally, right? Like our Rolls Royce is like purring. It's amazing. There's nothing stopping it. Like it's running the way that it was meant to. And when we have good nutrition, that's the first thing that we need in order to do that. So I've mentioned this before, and I want to really jump into the lifelong vitality on a deeper level, not just kind of mentioning it. Most of you have had the chance to receive at least one box of your lifelong vitality at this point. If not, I'm sure it's on the way. But the lifelong vitality is actually the nutritional equivalent of 12 servings of fruit and vegetables in every serving. So I don't know about you. I do eat, I'll have a smoothie in the morning. That's a few servings of vegetables, and I'll have a salad usually for lunch. And then, by dinner time, I'm kind of like, I might eat a couple of carrots and cucumbers, but I'm not going to have like 2 salads a day. I don't feel like doing that. Maybe you guys do, but I don't really feel like doing that. I know that a lot of the fruit and vegetable nutrients that I get come from the supplements that I take. And so it allows me a little bit of leeway in the effort that I put into it all the time, right? And these vitamins are made from whole food sources. So that means there's no fillers, there's no, it's like eating broccoli, really. It's like a little, capsule, and it has all the vitamin A and all the different vitamins that you need to feed your body the essential fruits and vegetables that you need. So the essential oils are actually in the XE Omega bottle. So there's 3 bottles that you get with Lifelong Vitality. The first one that I talked about, Microplex VMZ, is a food nutrient complex. The second one is XE Omega, and that one has omega essential fatty acids. And I don't know if you guys know this, but most of us are extremely deficient in the essential fatty acids, the good fats, the good omegas that our body needs. And so by using the essential oil omega complex, we're able to feed our brains and our joints and our heart those essential fatty acids they need to perform their proper functions. And included in the XE Omega are 9 of the highest anti-inflammatory essential oils. I talked about this a little bit last week, I remember, but and then also one more thing, the XE Omega is a red color. A lot of fish oils are yellow, right? That would be, I've taken fish oils that are yellow before. These ones are red, and the reason why is because of something called astaxanthin. And astaxanthin is a superfood, and it actually comes from kelp in the ocean. It is very, very good for your cells. It's highly anti-inflammatory and really helps reduce oxidative stress on and around your body. It helps you, when I teach about anything, I teach about skincare, I teach about energy, I teach about immune system, digestive health. It all starts with feeding your cells these proper nutrients. And the alpha CRS is a cellular longevity complex. And the way that I like to explain this is like, we're made up of trillions of cells, right? I've got my hair cells, I've got my eye cells, my skin cells, my heart is made up of cells, all of these cells that are functioning in my body. And cells are made to, when they become damaged, they're made to do one of 2 different things, right? One is if a cell is damaged, it's actually designed to slough off and die, right? And your body just gets rid of it, and you excrete that, through your skin, whether it comes off or whether, as you're using the restroom, like you get rid of it, you eliminate it, right? It is no longer needed. The second thing that your cells can do is actually regenerate, right? They can heal, they can get better. They have all the little tools inside of them to regenerate and get better. And alpha CRS does just that. It helps the mitochondria, the little energy source in your cell, to perform at its highest level. This increases your energy and your mental clarity tremendously. When you think about cells in your body that are not performing their proper functions, there's different things that can happen when our cells are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. One of those things could lead to a disease like cancer, for example, where your cells are multiplying, they're continuing to grow and multiply, but they're growing in a not healthy way, right? And so not saying like, oh, alpha CRS cures cancer, right? I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is that feeding your body every day these vital supplements, the vitamins and nutrients that your cells need, it gives them that extra boost to do their job better. All right. So I love this. And I hope that you're all enjoying it and appreciating it. It's truly changed my life as well as so many others' lives that I get to work with. So let's move into another aspect of your foundational health. You probably heard a lot about gut health, right? Like, oh, it's all in your gut, or your brain is in your gut, or your immune system is in your gut, you know? And the truth is the gut does play a vital role in our overall health and well-being. It's not just, oh, I got a tummy ache. It's like actually it's vital in everything from our weight and our immune function, as well as our mental wellness. So one of my very best friends, her name is Dr. Danielle Daniel, and she's a doctor of psychology, and she actually speaks on a lot of doTERRA's events. She's done her entire doctoral research thesis on the use of essential oils and PTSD. And, you know, she's my best friend. I talk to her every day. So whenever anyone asks me, you know, hey, Kirsten, my son or daughter is experiencing increased anxiety or, you know, depression, or my mom or me or whoever, we're experiencing different types of mental health concerns. Can you make some recommendations for some oils? And for a long time, I would call up Dr. Danielle because I'm like, gosh, I'm a mom and I think I know, but I would really like to give them some really solid advice, you know? And you know, the first thing she always said to me, and it's surprised, now it doesn't surprise me at all, but she would always say, how is their gut health? Because serotonin is actually made, part of the serotonin is actually made in your gut. So when you have an issue that has damaged your gut, like an unhealthy diet, prolonged antibiotic use, which is sometimes unavoidable, we know, but it still does create damage in your gut. Lack of regular physical activity, poor sleep habits, and of course stress, which we all get to experience, right? All of these things can increase the damage in our guts. And so I just thought it was an interesting correlation that when she treats anyone for mental health disorders, she always treats the gut first. So one of the things that is really important is your digestive enzymes, right? Now we all have enzymes that perform different functions in our body. And I actually grabbed a list of different enzymes for you. If you're interested in some of this sciencey stuff, there's quite a few different enzymes, and all of these different enzymes perform different things in your body. So for example, the first one, protease, breaks down protein to peptides and amino acids that are then used in your body for different functions. Papain breaks down protein as well. Amylase breaks down carbohydrates, starches, and sugars. And lipase breaks down fats and oils. Lactase breaks down lactose that is found in milk sugars. Alpha galactosidase, that was an easy one to say. You can see it breaks down, go back, sorry. I need to not touch my mouse. There we go. That one breaks down complex sugars that are found in legumes and cruciferous vegetables that can cause bloating and gas. So if you eat a lot of raw foods, having a digestive enzyme like the alpha galactosidase is important, right? Cellulase breaks down fiber to help digest fruits and vegetables. Sucrase, again, breaks down sucrose to fructose and glucose for energy. So all of these cool little like chemical reactions that are happening in our bodies are like, it's really interesting, right? And you know, if you like to learn about the science of how this all works, like this makes a lot of sense to you. And if you never have before, you're like, gosh, digestive enzymes just make me feel good, you know, and now you know a little bit more about why they do. So I saw a question, can I use the digestive enzymes on children? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, they're quite mild. Like when I take them, I give them to my older son has some digestive issues. He's 13, and I do give him 2 Terrazyme before he eats every day. So a little bit more about the benefits of digestive enzymes. So they improve the immune system because the digestive system overall helps the health of an individual. and it ensures that there is proper growth of health in the body. So digestive enzymes help absorb nutrients in the body. And when you take your digestive enzymes with your Lifelong Vitality, it especially helps to pull out as much of the nutrients from your vitamins that you're taking as you can possibly get. All right. Digestive enzymes also increase the rate of metabolism in the body. So foods that are rich in digestive enzymes improve the rate of metabolism and create a healthy body. And it helps ensure that oxygen is circulated well throughout the body. So we're working with our digestive system, the metabolism, our circulatory system. Digestive enzymes promote the health of the bones. Because again, it helps your body actually absorb a lot of the vitamin D that's in the body. So it makes your bones stronger and to prevent bone diseases such as osteoporosis. Digestive enzymes help with joint inflammation. So a lot of times people with 40 years and above have a problem with joints. Not always, but when one has a good intake of digestive enzymes, it helps stop the pain and the inflammation in the joints. They help with liver health, liver health is like, oh my gosh, we could just do a whole course just on taking care of your liver. The liver is like the culprit and the responsible one for all the functions in your body. It requires a lot of digestive enzymes in order to ensure that it's able to eliminate toxins and chemicals in the body. So with a strong liver, you're assured that you're not going to have any deficiency of vitamin B12 and iron deficiency that can actually result in blindness. So it also helps with weight loss, which I feel like kind of goes along with the increased rate of metabolism in the body. Sorry, I had to move my little thing. So consumption of food with lipase or a digestive enzyme with lipase ensures that enzymes digest fats in an efficient manner. Therefore, it prevents fat buildup in the body and your body weight can be maintained, which of course makes you feel nice and energized and all the good things. So that's just, I feel like the one thing that I want you to know, that's a lot of information, right? The one thing that I felt like is the main point of using digestive enzymes is this: your body needs enzymes for all the functions, like all the metabolic functions, all the circulatory functions. There's a lot of things that your body is using enzymes for. And if you aren't getting enough raw food that has all these different digestive enzymes in it, then your body will take from other areas in your body those enzymes that it needs to perform its metabolic function. So by using a digestive enzyme, then your body doesn't have to steal enzymes from other areas just to break down the food that you're eating. So it helps your body to have more energy because all the different enzymes get to kind of stay in their area and do their job. You know what I mean? So they're not borrowing from each other. So either eating like tons of raw food or taking a digestive enzyme like Terrazyme is a really excellent way to ensure that your body has all of the enzymes that it needs for all these different functions. Plus, I just feel way better when I take my Terrazyme before I eat. There's a night and day difference. It's really amazing. So, all right, now I want to move into what we kind of talked about was the foundational nutrition. Every day is a Lifelong Vitality Terrazyme day. And what I want to move into next is really more about targeted options, right? So what I'm going to teach you about are going to be different options that you can try depending on what you or one of your family members are experiencing, right? So I'm not saying take all these vitamins every single day, just dump them in your hand, and shove them down your throat. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that these are some really great targeted options. So on your paper, if you have it printed out, you'll have these little lines for the notes that you can take. So the first one I want to talk about is called Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex. Okay, now what this is not, it is not taking a bottle of Deep Blue and opening a capsule and putting Deep Blue oil in a capsule and drinking it. Okay, that is not what this is. What this is are actual herbs that help support muscle and joint comfort and function. Okay, this will soothe different aches and discomfort. It'll help with the pain. It's basically like it's a super anti-inflammatory. It's comparable to taking an Advil, or an ibuprofen. only it's a lot better for you, a lot better for your liver, but you can use it in tandem with Deep Blue Rub or Deep Blue Oil. So an example, I'll give you two examples of the kind of person that would really benefit from Deep Blue polyphenols. The first one is someone who has been suffering from chronic pain in their body caused by, you know, different maybe arthritis or arthritic type of conditions, fibromyalgia, things like that, right? Like a chronic inflammation, a chronic pain in the body, and they're really just looking for some relief.
That it's also
in their
our
joints
anniversary
and
weekend,
muscles.
so it's kind of like
that would be
meant to
something.
be,
So
I
you
think.
could take two Deep Blue polyphenols with your Lifelong Vitality for an extra anti-inflammatory boost. For me, when I use Deep Blue polyphenol is more like, I actually just, a little less than a year ago, I decided that I wanted to start running. Now I'm 39. Okay. So it took me 38 years to finally decide that I wanted to run. I've never liked running ever. I mean, I couldn't run to save my life. But suddenly I got peer pressured into it, and all of a sudden I'm signing up for a race and we're going to run 8 miles, all my girlfriends and I. And so I started running, and it was extremely painful for me. It was painful on joints and ligaments that I didn't even know I had, you know? And so for me, I'm using Deep Blue Rub and Deep Blue Oil, but the Deep Blue polyphenol for me was a way to systemically reduce the inflammation in the body. And oh, I'm sorry, my volume was turned down and I didn't hear if there was background noise. So I'm sorry, I'm not paying attention to my muting. Just talking about polyphenols. Sorry guys, hopefully you guys can all mute yourselves. If not, I will try to jump on that. Hi, Katie. Good to see your face, girl. All right, so jumping back in. Kirsten, do you take Terrazyme 3 times a day? No, because I don't really eat 3 times a day. Like I really am more like I'll take 2 Terrazyme in the morning, and then I'll have a big meal like around 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and I'll take 2 then. And I usually, unless I like eat ice cream later at night or like some kind of like red meat or something, I might take Terrazyme before I eat that. But regularly I'm taking Terrazyme in the morning before I eat, and then right again before my big midday meal. That's how I eat those. So Terrazyme is meant to be taken like before you eat food. Okay, so back on the Terrazyme. Okay, back to the Deep Blue. I would take Deep Blue polyphenol when like I said, when I started a running regimen, and I'm like, I'm really taxing my body, and I'm either gonna get ibuprofen or I'm gonna take Deep Blue. Like it's kind of like that for me. It's more of an acute symptom type of a situation. So that's how I would. You can take it daily or as needed. All right. So moving on. Okay, adaptive is one that it is changing people's lives. I think anxiety and stress are the number one thing. Like I think 100% of people right now would say they are feeling some kind of stress and would love a natural way to feel calm, promote positive feelings. Some people are just like I don't know where this anxiety is coming from. It's starting in my belly and it's just kind of like I'm getting mini panic attacks or full-blown panic attacks. Adaptive is the game changer for that. Adaptive supports your mood and helps improve your state of mind. It encourages relaxation and your mental well-being, and it supports cognitive function as well as emotional balance. So it helps when you're in a new situation like all of us are right now and adapting to stressful situations. This could be compared to any kind of pharmaceutical medication that you would, be prescribed. And I'm not advocating like, oh, don't take your drugs that your doctor, prescribed you. I'm not advocating that. But most of the people that I get to work with are actually seeking a natural way, that they don't really want to take them pharmaceutical medicines that, have side effects and things like that. So the adaptive calming capsules are an excellent way to support your body naturally and to help you adapt to all of the changing environment. This is, you can use it for children as well as for adults. So for a child, I would just give them 1 capsule, maybe in the morning. And for an adult, I've taken 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening. Just kind of, I use it more. Anxiety is not one of my big struggles, but I certainly have felt it. And so I use adaptive more like I use the Deep Blue polyphenols, more like a case by case type of a type of a thing, but I do have friends that are working on getting away from some of the pharmaceutical medicines, and adaptive has just been a big time game changer for them when they want to move past that. Okay, so turmeric is you know, I feel like turmeric is really like such a commonly used anti-inflammatory. Like it's a very commonly known thing in many different countries that turmeric is good for inflammation. In fact, as a side note, one of my friends, he's so cool. He's this filmmaker from Hawaii, and he just went to the Philippines and he decided he was going to skateboard all the way through the entire, he started in the north of the Philippines, and he like produced this movie of himself skating all the way through the middle of the country. It's super cool. You should go check it out. But anyway, he skateboards across the country, and he says the only thing that he used for his leg cramps, which he obviously would have if he's skateboarding, he didn't have a car ever, no car. He's skateboarding in the rain, in the sun, all over, uphill, downhill. And he said the turmeric was actually what he used for the inflammation in his body. And I thought that was like so cool. I'm like, oh, I'm teaching about turmeric this week. So turmeric helps the body fight free radicals and protects it from oxidative stress. And what's really cool about these turmeric capsules is it's actually a dual chamber. So you have like these two, you have like one capsule with one on the outside of it, and it combines both turmeric essential oil and the curcuminoids of turmeric extract. So you got like the powder in the middle and then the essential oil on the outside. And it's a very unique delivery system that gets that turmeric right to where it needs to be to reduce inflammation in the body. This is another one that it really could be combined with your deep blue polyphenol. Like you could do like one deep blue and one turmeric if inflammation and pain in your body is an issue for you. All right, so circle that one if that's kind of important for kind of what type of ailments you or those that you love are dealing with. All right. So the next one is Serenity Capsule. So not lately, but oh my goodness, during the last 10 years, I have traveled a lot. I'll be in different time zones and, you know, and all over. And these capsules have really, really made a difference in my ability to get sleep when I need it. A lot of us, I would say if stress is number one, sleep is probably number two, you know, and sleep is when our body is asleep is when it's healing itself. So it's actually, the sleep is like the most important thing, you know. I think sleep is more important than anything. And if you're having trouble sleeping, getting good sleep, then it affects every other aspect of your day, of your life, really. So taking 2 Serenity capsules before bed can encourage restful sleep, can help make a difference in the quality and the ease of actually getting to sleep. It calms the nervous system, it helps to reduce stress, and it helps you get that refreshing sleep that you need without leaving you feeling groggy or sleepy the next day. And I think that's important too. This is not an Ambien, okay? This is not a drug. It's not gonna knock you out. What it does is your body is designed to sleep. It's supposed to sleep. It knows it's supposed to sleep, right? The herbs, the oils that are in Serenity capsules remind your body that it's okay to relax. It's okay to let go. It's okay to go into that deep REM sleep. So it's wonderful. I've done a lot of, we'll do these sleep studies every once in a while where we'll just like give out Serenity, and there's a Serenity oil, which is really lovely as well. And we'll do like these, you know, little surveys like before and afters, you know, we'll use Serenity for a week. And it is incredible the way that just changing a couple little things right before bed make a really big difference for people in their sleep. So I love that. If that's something that you're struggling with, I highly encourage you to check out the Serenity capsules. So moving on to phytoestrogen and bone nutrients. So this is actually, it says doTERRA women, although men have hormones as well and bones as well, right? So I think putting doTERRA women on it is not necessarily the only way that it could be used, but it does help balance and support normal hormone levels. So the phytoestrogen, what I want you to think about with estrogens in the body, there's actually a few different kinds of estrogens. One of the bad kinds of estrogen is actually called xenoestrogen. And we get that because we we eat out of plastic, and we have different toxins and things in the body, and the xenoestrogens are kind of there, and they mess with our hormones. They mimic hormones in the body, and it actually is a big contributing factor to hormone imbalance. And a lot of women, as we have life changes, you know, PMS, premenopause, menopause, we're going through these hormone changes anyway, and our adrenals are wrecked because of the stress in our life, and the adrenals are misfiring, and so therefore our hormones tend to recycle in our body, and they aren't as powerful. They're diluted, and it's kind of a mess. I would say the hormone imbalance in our bodies is a huge factor in all the other things that are going on in our life. Our inability to lose weight, our different things that show up on our skin, our inability to sleep and manage stress, and all those things are actually very much related to our ability to balance and support normal hormone levels. In addition to the phytoestrogen, which helps to balance the hormone levels, our bone nutrient is also very important. Bone nutrient can also be used with children who are experiencing growing pains. So if growing healthy, strong bones is important at different phases of your life, bone nutrient is a great one. Or if someone has a broken bone, I know 2 people recently who have broken their collarbone. I guess that kind of goes with living by the ocean and kind of getting slammed in the waves, but 2 kids I know who have broken their collarbones, and I've suggested bone nutrient as a part of supporting their body in healing itself. So you can kind of see some of the different things. There's a pomegranate extract in that phytoestrogen, as well as a flaxseed extract. And you can use these to help metabolize the estrogen in your body and to minimize uncomfortable symptoms of PMS and transitioning through menopause. So you can see how that would apply to probably most all of us on this group, or maybe some other people that you know in your family. Okay, next is Mito 2 Max. Mito 2 Max it's kind of my favorite. I'm always honest, but completely honest. I love like energy. Like I like to get I like stimulant energy. I want to feel like, you know, I want to drink like an energy drink and like feel like, you know, or drink like a super B vitamin drink or something, you know. I like that feeling in my body. And, you know, Katie and I, we've worked out together. We've had this conversation about caffeine and how much we love it, you know, although caffeine is terrible for your body. And so when I'm practicing my 80-20 rule, I'm not saying I won't have a caffeinated beverage every once in a while. 20% of the time, if I go out on a Friday night, I'm going to get crazy with my, you know, Diet Coke or something. But overall, the decisions, no, I don't really drink Diet Coke, but if I did, it would be fine. Overall, the decisions that I'm making for energy in my day, like morning, noon, night, I'm using my Lifelong Vitality, and I'm adding Mito 2 Max to it because it supports healthy cellular energy production. So what it is not doing is creating a stimulant, but what it is doing is creating stamina. So when I take Mito 2 Max, what I never notice like a spike in my energy, like, oh, that pill just kicked in. But what I do notice is like 6 hours later, I feel as good in my day as I did 6 hours before that. Does that make sense? Like, I'm like, wow, there was never a dip in my energy throughout the day. And that's what Mito 2 Max does. It enhances your stamina and therefore your mental energy. And what it does as far as like a scientific thing, you have, like I mentioned, all this mitochondria in your cells, and the mitochondria are the engine of your cells, right? It's like revving up and like all these different functions that create heat and energy and the aerobic capacity of your cells. And it helps that function to just be right on point, like firing on point, all cylinders, let's go, and let's maintain that for as long as possible. So it's really a long-term alternative to caffeinated drinks. And what I suggest too, if you're someone who, you know, has drank maybe a caffeinated beverage every single day, and you really want to eliminate that from your life. Maybe you're feeling called to do that. Maybe you're not feeling called to do it. No judgment. Okay. But if you are, if you're feeling like the caffeination is not really serving you anymore, then what I would suggest would be to switch to a non-caffeinated beverage, right? So you're still getting some kind of fun, because for me, like, my special drink is more about like the way that it tastes and like having the moment where I sit down and like love on myself with this yummy, delicious beverage, right? And so what I suggest and what I have done is I will take Mito 2 Max, and then I will have my non-caffeinated healthier beverage, and I still get the effect of having that sustained energy and also having my version of self-care while I'm having my yummy drink. So that's kind of my little alternative to doing that. Oh, I was trying to click on my chat. Let me go. Try to stay. Yeah. Oh, Nikisha says third shift in Serenity. Oh yeah. I need to keep this chat box up. You guys are talking to me and, and I'm not seeing it. Okay. Karen, great question. Will this help to minimize caffeine headaches to get off coffee? So I have something that will minimize the headaches. I don't know that Mito 2 Max will. What I know Mito 2 Max will do will give you that sustained energy. So you're not thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so wasted, I need coffee. You know, it's what that's going to do. But what you actually need is what I'm going to talk about next, is actually a detox. So anytime we have a substance of any kind that we are dependent on, right? Whether it's caffeine or a different medicine that we're trying to eliminate from our bodies, I use Zendocrine. So Zendocrine complex supports a healthy cleansing and filtering functions of the liver, kidneys, colon, lungs, and skin. So if you are removing coffee from your diet, what's going to happen is that's all going to start coming out, and you're going to need to create new pathways in your body for finding energy, right? Your body is so smart. Your body's like, okay, fine, coffee's gone. What else do we got? You know, and you're like, I've got some really good stuff. But what we have to do first is detoxify ourselves, that we're used to those substances being poured into them every single day, right? So I think of using Zendocrine like when you need to clean the air filters in your house, you know, like your air conditioning or your heater vents, and you have to like pull those little trap, you know, you open the thing and then you pull out the filters, and they're all gunky and they got like gray dust. They're actually very disgusting. And every time I do it, I'm like, gosh, I probably should have done that sooner, right? Same thing with your vehicle. When you go in to get your oil changed, they're going to look at your air filters. My vacuum, I've got a Roomba vacuum, and I got to like take the little trap thing out and shake it out and get all the dust out of it. It's the same thing with our bodies. How are you taking out the trap and shaking all the dust off of your filtering organs? Your body has the same exact thing. Now, we're not going to take out your liver. We're not going to take out your kidneys, right? But what we are going to do is push through the Zendocrine complex, which will filter, clean your filters first. I actually recommend cleaning your filters first before doing really anything else. I probably should have talked about Zendocrine first, but wanted to talk about foundational nutrition. But one thing that I have found, if you're taking your Lifelong Vitality supplements, or you start really any new health regimen and you don't feel good, like you're like, oh my gosh, I have a headache, I feel worse than I did before. What's happening is you are detoxifying your body. So you'll want to clean your filters first before you start pushing all the crap through. You know what I mean? Like if you're pushing toxins through a dirty filter, like that's just you're gonna feel sluggish, your headache's gonna be worse. So clean your filters first, then start pushing through the toxins through the filters. Does that make sense? So when you want to clean your filtering organs, this is an excellent one to try. You can take 2 capsules daily, one with each morning and evening meal. So that would be one possible way to do that. Okay. All right. Now, this is a new one for me. And if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen I actually, because there's a lot of things to take, you know, and when they came out with these Yarrow Palm, I got it right here. I keep this right by my desk because I'm so excited about it. I'm like, oh, keep this like right where I'm at all the time. When they first came out with it, I was kind of like, oh, that's nice, but I kind of have my vitamin regimen. I'm not really wanting to try something new, but I should have read the bottle a little bit more, because I totally want this in my life. And I'm like, which one do I just add it to all the other ones I'm taking, or do I kind of back off on one so that I can do this one? But here's the deal. Yarrow Pom is a cellular beauty complex. And for me, I like efficiency. You know, I'm like, okay, if I can take one pill and it's going to make me beautiful, my skin's going to be brighter, my complexion's going to look better, I'm going to have the most antioxidant support that I can, my skin is going to be firmer, the imperfections are going to fade in my skin, and my cellular health is going to be on point, and my metabolism is going to be on point, my skin's going to be youthful. I'm into it. You know, I'm into it. Yeah. And so I started trying it, and I've been taking it I've been preparing for this for about a week, right? So I'm probably about 5 or 6 days into taking Yarrow Pom twice a day. And I can't quite pinpoint yet what it is in my body. Like, I'm not like, oh my gosh, like the bags under my eyes are gone or something, you know, like it's not quite like that yet, but I just know that I feel and look and like am operating better. So to be continued on that. But for me, a cellular beauty complex that I can use in, that is compatible with my lifelong vitality, and it improves my skin firmness. Like collagen is like really big right now. You know, like people are like, oh, you got to take this collagen or drink this collagen drink or whatever. And this compares to that. It increases that skin firmness and collagen, and skin is, it's pretty important to me. We got to live in our skin, you know? So I think having beautiful skin helps us all to feel more beautiful and vibrant. So yay for Yarrow Pom. It's a big thumbs up from me so far, and definitely to be continued. Would love to hear what you guys think about it if you try it. Okay, now I saved this one for last. Copaiba is actually one of the supplements that I bought you guys this month, you ladies, because I love it so much. I take Copaiba every night before bed. So the Serenity one, I've tried both. The Serenity one I use especially when I'm like traveling and I want, like, I don't know, they're kind of like used for different things. And I don't tell you that to confuse you, but Copaiba, what I have found, I'll take 2 soft gels right before I like jump into my bed. And the quality of my sleep, like it goes from like let's say like on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 would be like I'm like dead to the world in deepest REM sleep ever, and 1 is like I can still hear a baby cry if I'm kind of awake. You know, some of you that have little kids, you know what that's like, right? Copaiba takes it to a 10 for me. It's that deep REM sleep that my body is craving that I don't always get otherwise. And it's interesting because I've never had trouble sleeping before. This is a newer thing for me. And I don't know if it's just age or the moon or all the above, but it's a little harder for me to sleep. There seems to be a lot more energy, a lot more buzz, a lot more things going on that my mind doesn't always turn off. And even when I do sleep, it doesn't feel like I slept well at night. And so I take 2 Copaibas before bed, and it's amazing. Now let me talk to you about Copaiba. Okay, so Copaiba, I'm sure a lot of you have heard about CBD oil, right? CBD is it's kind of a buzzword, right? And I actually did a lot of research for you because I wanted to make sure that I could teach you something about your body. So CBD oil is kind of everywhere. You can buy it in all kinds of different drugstores, and I'm not, going to talk too much about it. But what I want you to know, I'm going to actually, I think I have to stop my screen share because I did some research and I have some notes for you. Now I get to see all your faces again. So by definition, this is what you need to know. There's going to be some big words, but this is kind of sciencey and it's kind of cool. All right. So a cannabinoid, okay, cannabinoid is any molecule that acts on either 1 or 2 of the receptors in your body. There's actually receptors, there's trigger points, receptors in your body. They're called CB1 and CB2. Okay, so a cannabinoid is any molecule that can interact with CB1 or CB2 in your body. Okay, so these different receptors, 2 different receptors in your body, and produce significantly different physiological responses when activated. So CB1 activation is caused by THC and other similar cannabinoids. So THC is a substance in the cannabis plant that can create a psychoactive drug high, right? And so that's where you can get some of that from the cannabis plant. On the other hand, CB2 activation is activated by a substance called beta caryophyllene, okay? BCP. All right, so BCP and CBD, that's kind of what I'm teaching you about. So beta caryophyllene, or BCP, has produced results showing a lot of therapeutic benefits. So these include supporting a healthy inflammatory response, soothing discomfort, positively affecting the mood without the psychoactive side effects associated with other cannabinoids. Okay, so within your body, you have an actual system. It's called the endocannabinoid system. And whenever that system is triggered by either a CB1 or CB2 receptor molecule, right? Then that is how you get reactions in your body. So there's actually cannabinoids that are naturally produced in your body called endocannabinoids. And there's cannabinoids that come from plants. They're called phytocannabinoids. That makes sense, right? And CBD, like I said, is one example of a phytocannabinoid. It comes from a plant, but there's actually a lot of different cannabinoids that you can use. There's also synthetic cannabinoids as well. So what you need to know about CBD versus BCP, or beta caryophyllene, is that there is not a system for heavily regulating the THC that is in CBD oil. There's not a system for regulating the interactions that your body has on the dosage and the amounts and the levels that would be required to get a positive reaction from CBD. And there's a lot of different, just like with essential oils, there's a lot of purity and potency issues with CBD oil. So when CBD oil came out, a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, doTERRA, you guys, you've got to get CBD oil. It's so amazing. Like, why won't you do CBD oil? What's wrong with you? And doTERRA is kind of like, look, there's a lot of issues related to dosage. Okay, I'm like, I can't find my little person. There she is. Okay. There's a lot of issues related to dosage and the amount that you would have to take of CBD oil to get the reaction that you need it's not regulated. So using something like beta caryophyllene that's found in copaiba, it's found in other plants as well, actually works better for your body without the harmful side effects and potentially risking not passing a drug test if that's an issue for you with your job, So there's a lot of different comparisons that can be made with CBD oil and BCP, but I wanted you guys to kind of know some of the ways and the receptors in your own body. And when we talk about those receptors, like why would you use copaiba? Why would you use CBD oil? There's a few things. I want to get back to my slides. Let me share my screen again so you guys can see this. Okay, cool. So I want to introduce you to one of my friends. His name is Darren Thomas. His wife, Lauren, and him and their daughters live in South Africa. And I was blessed to get to know them online. I just believe it was divinely guided. I don't know how I got connected to these amazing South Africans, but I did. And one of the things that Darren was actually injured in a gun shooting. So he was shot and he lost the use of his legs. He has significant nerve damage, like really, really bad. And he's constantly looking for ways. So he was actually using CBD oil as a way to try to, take care of pain and nerve damage and things like that. And fortunately, when I started working with them, he was able to switch over to copaiba. And you can see this post from Lauren. I went and found that. She's like, my husband's amazing. He trains so hard. He works out in the gym all the time. She says he uses Biogen supplements and now he uses doTERRA oils for nerve pain. Well, the only reason why he uses Biogen is because South Africa does not have Lifelong Vitality yet. And they are just dying. Like it's like whenever I talk about my Lifelong Vitality, my South Africans are like, don't talk about it anymore. Like until we can get it, Anyway, so Copaiba is amazing. You can take it for pain and nerve damage. I take it for relaxation. It's my preferred supplement for relaxation. There's a lot of great options here, as you guys have seen. I just to kind of give you, I'm getting some questions about, do you take all those pills daily? Like, let me tell you the psychology. I've never been a pill taker. Okay. Like I did not, you can ask my mom. I could not swallow any pill, any capsule until I was about 12 or 13 years old. Like I was the kid grown up on antibiotics that if I had some bacterial infection, my mom, I wasn't raised holistically at all. So we're all about the antibiotics when I'm a kid. And I would get that pink bubble gum antibiotic because I couldn't take it any other way. So I have always been kind of averse to wanting to take pills. But when I shifted my mindset about it a little bit and I realized that, yeah, it's a lot of pills, but it's like toppings on your food. It's like I've got my meals, I'm taking it with my meals, and it's like my extra dose of nutrients and energy supplements and digestive enzymes and all those things with my meals. So think of it like some extra topping on your food that makes it supercharged superfood. Here's a sample daily schedule. So in the morning, if you were one that has a lot of inflammation and pain in your body, a turmeric in the morning would be really good, right? So 2 turmeric and a PB Assist. I didn't talk about PB Assist. We didn't even talk about probiotics. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to say that for another time. Probiotics are important. PB Assist is amazing. There's a prebiotic and what is it called? I wrote that down. Where did that go? Oh yes, prebiotic and probiotic with the PB Assist, and that's very important because it actually gets these strains of good probiotics into the intestine where it needs to be. Okay, so a sample schedule: 2 turmeric and 1 PB Assist. For breakfast, when you eat your breakfast, 2 of each of the Lifelong Vitalities. So that is 6. It's 2 Alpha CRS, 2 Microplex DMZ, and 2 XE Omega with a Terrazyme. And again, here's where you get to decide, is anxiety, are you going to have a big anxious day? Grab an adaptive and put that in there, right? That would be a good place to add that in. At lunch, 2 each of the Lifelong Vitality. For me, my breakfast is like around 11:30. My lunch is around like 2:30, 3 o'clock. And that's where I would take my Terrazyme Lifelong Vitality, and that's where I would take that Mito 2 Max to just make sure that that energy level doesn't plummet around 3, 4 o'clock like sometimes it does. And then at bedtime, Yarrow Palm Complex, my beauty complex, and 2 Copaibas, and you could also add 2 Serenities. For me personally, 2 Copaiba does it for me. I have never really needed to add a Copaiba and a Serenity unless I was traveling and I'm in like London and it's 12-hour time difference and it's the middle of the day and that sort of a thing. But for those of you that work different swing shifts and things like that, 2 Copaiba and 2 Serenity is going to change your sleeping life. It's amazing. So I hope that kind of answers your questions as far as like, you don't have to take every single thing I talked about every single day. But what is important is deciding what your regimen is going to be. And, I thought about this as I was like, I took some pictures for you guys today. This is my kitchen. I didn't even like really clean it up. I just like sat all my stuff on the table. I'm like, I'm going to take a picture. I want you guys to see my daily foundation. And I've told you this before, I've become a vitamin nerd, and I'm the kind of person that I would have made fun of before because I'm like, yay, vitamins. Like, why are you talking about vitamins? Like, they're so great. But what this has come to represent for me is why I feel so amazing and empowered and like I can function at my highest level. And so, yeah, it's in a little black bottle and it has nice writing. Like, it doesn't even matter. Sometimes I just throw them all in a baggie, What it represents for me is the way that I function, the way that I look, the way that I feel, the way that I show up for others in my life. I really believe that it starts with yourself and feeding your body what you need to bring more energy, more light, more substance to really evolve in a better way, in a higher way. And so that's why I get so dang excited about supplements, is because of what they represent in our lives. So on the left, you see I've got my daily foundation. I didn't talk about all of these products yet today because I didn't want to take up too much time. I'm just about at an hour right now, so I want to let you guys go. But there are some children's chewable options for the Lifelong Vitality. And as a side note, I eat those chewable tablets like they're candy. And if I ever have a sugar craving, I really don't eat a lot of sugar anymore. Like I said, if Kirsten bakes me a pie, I'll eat it. But other than that, I'm not a big sugar eater anymore. But if I ever want sugar, especially at night, I'll grab one of the PB Assist Juniors, which is a probiotic, and it tastes just like a pixie stick. It's one of my favorite things ever. I give them to my kids. I eat them myself. The Terra Greens is another thing in the morning. My boys love the Terra Greens. I put it in a big shaker with a lot of crushed ice, and then I do 2 scoops of Terra Greens in the morning. And that way, you know, if I didn't make them something healthy, like they had, gosh, Eggo waffles or Captain Crunch one morning, at least I know for sure they're getting their Terra Greens into their day, you know. And for me, like as a mom of 5 boys, that's called balance, you know. Like I have to be able to function with really good tools, but then also 20% of the time, like let them eat Captain Crunch for breakfast and just get over it, you know, because we have good vitamins and we have Terra Greens. And that's my philosophy as a mom. You know, some holistic health coaches might think that's terrible, and I'm sorry if I offend you with that, but that's real life for me, right? On the right, this is just a little reminder of the daily targeted enhancements. That's what I called them. So this isn't necessarily going to be every day. If you need extra energy, you go with Mito 2 Max. You want to look and feel beautiful in your skin, you go with Yaropalm. You need to detoxify, you've got Zendocrine. You need help with your anxiety and your stress and sleep, you've got Serenity, Adaptive, Copaiba, and of course with pain, you've got Copaiba and Deep Blue. Okay, so that's just kind of like an overall vision of what is available for you. And I hope that's helpful. I hope that gives you some good ideas for what you might be able to incorporate into your life. I got my box and I took a picture of it because I was like, oh, this is what everyone's, hopefully you guys have gotten your October loyalty rewards box. As a reminder, here's the list of products that should be coming. It should either be in your shopping cart or have already arrived. I got the Lifelong Vitality with my Terrazyme. I got my Balance, the Copaiba soft gels, the natural Greek orange deodorant, my facial cleanser, my stronger oil. So far, we have talked about our Lifelong Vitality, Terrazyme, and Copaiba. So as we move forward, I kind of tried to pick items from doTERRA that I really love. And as we talk about more topics moving forward, you guys will have at least one of the items that we talk about each week in your box, okay? As a reminder, you have a loyalty rewards program. So if you did your order for October, if that was your first one, you're getting 10% back in free products just by doing that order. And that's exciting. So you do that for 3 months. And then when you order your vitamins and other stuff again, after 4 months, you're getting 15% back in free oils, like anything you want. You can redeem it for anything you want. I love it. It's like the most generous loyalty program ever. And after 13 months, you're getting 30% back. So it's pretty cool. Definitely optional, but it's really the most intelligent way to order doTERRA products. I hope you guys enjoy that and appreciate that. This concludes our second class of our wellness education series. So make sure you keep track of the classes that you've been to. I will be sending you a certificate of completion. And I just really appreciate being able to share this knowledge with you. Okay, I'm gonna go through the questions. I'm seeing some really good questions, and thank you, Cassandra, for answering. Cassandra's like my good little chat box moderator, so I love that. Tiffany, I'm glad it was helpful for you. I'm so glad. That means a lot. Definitely Terrazyme and Lifelong Vitality are excellent to take together. In fact, like I said, taking Terrazyme with your Lifelong Vitality helps your body to absorb as much of those vitamins as possible. It increases the rate of absorption when you're taking those vitamins. So yeah, I'm thinking, have you heard if Adaptive helps children who have fetal alcohol syndrome? Oh my goodness, that's such a specific syndrome. I'm going to say yes. Okay, I'm going to say I have not heard specifically for fetal alcohol syndrome. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know that specifically. I don't have personal experience with that. However, that seems like a very, very stressful and toxic situation. So adaptive does seem like a really good option. I also would suggest Zendocrine though. I feel like cleansing the filtering organs is like always the first thing that you should do with any kind of syndrome, with any kind of ailment that you're dealing with, and even with the eczema. So eczema actually is a skin condition, right? But your skin is actually your largest organ. Your skin is a filtering organ as well. So you've got filtering organs inside, liver, kidneys, colon, things like that. They're filtering toxins. And if those organs are gunked up, then those toxins are actually going to seep out onto the skin and show up on the skin. So eczema is actually more a symptom of an internal cleansing need than an external. You can get eczema from like a detergent, you know, if you had like something you were allergic to on the outside, that can kind of break out. So there are some good oils that can be used on the skin, right? Like tea tree and lavender and frankincense and things like that. But for eczema, I actually would always start on the inside. So again, looking at a Zendocrine cleanse, like detoxifying those organs so that your skin can actually do its job better. So that's what I would suggest for eczema as well. Yeah, it's absolutely safe to take 2 Serenity capsules and 2 Copaiba at night. Yeah, you're taking mild relaxation herbs that are specially formulated for relaxation and sleep. You are good to go on that. No problem. Difference between the Zendocrine capsule and a soft gel. Kirsten, I've been asked this question so many times, and I have answered it so many times. And okay, here's the thing. There's the white bottle and the black bottle, right? The white bottle are the detoxification herbs. The black bottle is the detoxification oils. So there's actually a pretty big difference. Like if you look at the ingredient list on the white bottle, it's actually not a whole lot of oils. But with the black bottle, you're getting like all these oils that are going to detox. So what I suggest is actually taking the white bottle first. Okay. White bottle is going to be a little bit more gentle. You know, it's not going to like, you're not going to notice this like crazy detoxification reaction, right? The black bottle is not going to be an intense reaction either, but I suggest starting white first, then black after that. And there's a pretty big difference. You'll notice when you take it, it feels different in your body. The oils, they're a little bit more powerful than the herbs, you know, and they get things moving a little bit more. So I don't want anybody to freak out. I want you to start slowly so that you have a good, you know, good reaction. But detoxifying is sometimes unpleasant, you know? I feel like detox sounds like, oh, we're going to the spa and we're going to detox, you know? Actually, we're going to get crap out of our bodies, and it probably is connected to emotions that are residing in our bodies, and we might cry, you know, like this is reality for detoxing. So be gentle with yourself. Start with the white first, then go with the black. Okay. So many good questions, you guys. Thank you so much for being on. Kids can take enzymes, and yeah. All right, let me go back to the bottom. You're so welcome, Radine. You guys, this is awesome. I love being on here with you. Thank you so much, especially if you just started, if you just joined us for week 2. Hope you'll come back for week 3. We'll be talking, what did I say? What was it? I think it was like, I lost my screen now. Where did my screen go, you guys? It's so stressful to be in charge of this. Like, I'm pretty sure, oh, yes. Toxin-free living. Yeah, I had a feeling it was toxin-free living. So that's actually going to be really fun because we'll talk about like different products, like use this, not that. And we'll talk about like where to go to find like how toxic your products are if you want to know. Some people don't want to know. So some really interesting stuff coming at you next week. So have a beautiful week, you guys. Thank you so much. PB says Tipo capsules you are not covering. Oh yeah, so great question. Actually, that's a private question, so I can answer, but it's a good one. Let me pull up my screen so you guys know exactly what I'm covering. So I'm sorry if it's been confusing for you. I didn't want it to be confusing, but basically what I did is I went and picked a few of the items, Lifelong Vitality always, right? Foundation Nutrition, and then a few of the other items that we'll be talking about each week. I can't give you all of them, right? But I wanted to give you kind of like the best of the best that would fit into a shopping cart that made sense. So the items that you put in your shopping cart for October are, oh, I gotta share my screen. Sorry, I'm looking at my screen. Can you guys see it? All right, share my screen again. Here we go. Okay, let me make it bigger. All right, so for October, we have a Lifelong Vitality Pack, and then we do the add-on of the Digestin Terrazyme because it's only 20 bucks. When you add it to any of those products that I talked about today, all those supplements, if you do Lifelong Vitality, then the additional supplement is like only $20. It's like a lot cheaper than it would normally be if you bought it on its own. So that's kind of cool. So we got Lifelong Vitality and Terrazyme. We have Stronger, because when we talk about oils for kids, we're going to have our Stronger. We've got a facial cleanser, because we're going to talk about skincare. We have our natural deodorant, because we're talking about toxic-free living. And we've got our Copaiba soft gels that we talked about today, and our Balance oil. So those are the items that should be in your October Loyalty Rewards box. You are covering the Lifelong Vitality vitamins with the tax and shipping. I am paying you, I'm reimbursing you for the other items in the box. That's kind of how I wanted to do it, so that you can have a loyalty rewards order that you earn all those points on. So that's how I wanted to do it. For November, I do have, I don't have a big slide created for you right now, but if you want to know what to put in your cart for November, I'll probably just cover it next week, just in the interest of time, but we got until November to do that. So there's just some other items, and I can answer those questions privately as well if you guys want. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate your time. Have a beautiful night. Take care. Bye.